attention.
It is 8:39 coming up on 8:40. Good morning. Happy Friday. It is the last Friday in September. It's National Coffee Day. Gregg Goodman from Farmers Insurance is here. And Greg, you have your coffee. We were talking, good morning, by the way, Greg.
Good morning.
We were talking, by the way, you and I, we're coffee nuts. If you like coffee, how exactly do you celebrate National Coffee Day? Because if you usually drink coffee, you're going to drink coffee today anyway. So how do we take that to the next level? What are we doing?
I think Starbucks should get coffee free to everybody for one day. They're taking over the world.
Free coffee everywhere. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you very much.
What do you want to talk about today, Gregg Goodman from Farmers Insurance?
I think we should talk about coverage reviews with clients, not just coverage reviews, making sure people know they have the right coverage and making sure their agent.
A coverage review. You know, my agent called me a couple of weeks ago. I may or may have not ignored the call, Greg. Oh.
I think it's very important that you should take that phone call.
Oh, tell me what I did wrong.
I don't think you did anything wrong. I just think that sometimes it could be a misconception. Insurance agents do great. Okay. I mean, I know our agency does really great and we have a great staff and we try to make everyone have the right coverages, but it's always good that it's explained to you what coverages you have and what they do. It's just like you go to the doctor every year, you go to a dentist every year. Why don't you go see your insurance agent every year? Because they're just as important as all the other professionals in this world. So
what you're saying is things change, things evolve. There are different policies you can have. There are changes, things change, and you should always be up to date with your policy. Maybe you have too much coverage. Maybe you don't have enough. Is that what you're saying? We should go over
Absolutely.
Everything and just take a look at it. And it doesn't, from what I understand, doesn't take all that long.
You could do it. We try to have people come into our office so they can see our office and our staff and just converse and go through everything. You can do stuff over the phone. You can do it by email these days. You can email it to someone to talk to them over the telephone and give them all their coverages and go over it and everything. And we just want to make sure we document our files, make sure everybody knows what they're doing, and making sure they have the right coverages.
Give me one example of where we're making this mistake of not reviewing our policy. What is happening when we don't do that and we just let it ride? What is the biggest mistake we're making by not doing that, Greg?
I think that's the biggest mistake. I think what happens, like in car insurance, a lot of people don't know what their deductibles are. There's $250 deductible, a $500 deductible, $1,000. So if they get an a fender bender, okay, the first thing they're doing is calling us, which is great. That's what we should do. But if you kind of don't know what your deductibles are, sometimes there's a need to call the agent and there's a need not to call the agent. Or if someone hits you or you hit them, there's differences. So you just
be aware.
Be aware. Be educated. Be educated.
We're a little bit lazy, Greg. I'm not going to lie to you. We're a little bit, as a society, we tend to be a little bit lazy because we focus on things that we think are priority, but this is a priority and we just don't realize it. I think we need to be schooled on this type of thing so we know better. And so the next time you guys call and say we should review your policy, we should take the phone call and not just ignore it.
I think, and there's other reasons too. It's like, I'm giving an example, just like on life insurance. A lot of people think that they have their life insurance when they work for a big corporation. Okay, but do you need more life insurance? Did you just have a baby? Or what happens also, like on group life insurance, once you leave that company, that insurance goes away. So maybe you should have a review to get a different type of life insurance policy that will last you longer.
Sure.
Okay, just in case. A lot of people get laid off and they start their own business. So, there's just many, many different factors that you should look at.
When is the best time to look into life insurance? Is it when you're young and beautiful and no cares in the world and no medical issues? Is that the best time? When is the best time?
I got my first life insurance policy when I was 22 years old. And I still have that life insurance policy.
Is the same policy?
The same policy. Mm-hmm. But there's different policies. There's, whole life or universal life and term life. And just for an example, that policy, when I was age 22, I found out at that time that I did have a heart murmur. So, but that heart murmur made me have heart surgery 2 years ago. So I kept that because that policy could never be taken away from me as long as I pay the premiums. Okay, so if you do have a life insurance policy and you do have some type of medical issue, okay, if you get the right policy, that policy will last you forever. But if you have a medical issue and you try to get life insurance, you can decline.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of factors to be involved in that.
Exactly. So basically you're saying the younger, the better, only because we're dealing now with medical issues and that kind of thing that could actually knock you out of the ballpark, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. What is, out of all the insurances, now we know we have to have insurance for the car, liability, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Liability.
That's a state law.
Right. So we have to have that, and we have to have homeowners insurance. What other than the ones, the have-tos, what do you say is the next in line that we should be thinking about and we should have? Is it earthquake? Is it flood insurance? Is it life insurance? What kind of insurance you think comes next after those have-tos?
I always think the number one issue after that is life insurance. And then after that, based on your assets, a lot of people should get like $1 million personal umbrella just to help cover their assets just in case there is a catastrophic loss, a liability claim. And those are very, very inexpensive.
Wait a second. I don't even talk to me about this. This is new. They're speaking new words to me. Umbrella. You said umbrella. Talk to me.
I'll give you an example. So if you have $500,000 limits on your auto insurance,
okay,
and someone gets in a car accident and they say they kill somebody, okay, you're going to get sued. So your coverage will cover up to $500,000. A $1 million umbrella or higher gives you more liability coverage just in case there is a catastrophic loss. Got you.
And those are not expensive? Those are not...
For 2 cars, it's maybe $300 annually. It's very, very inexpensive. And we are actively talking to our clients about those kind of things.
That's actually something that really should be thought about. That is not expensive at all not on an annual basis.
Especially when you have new kid drivers in your household and you're a registered owner to that car. So the parents, when you have a new driver in your household and the parents' car, they're registered, the parents are liable for anything happens with their kids in that car. So why not have a little bit extra coverage to help? Just peace of mind.
Peace of mind is the way to go. I love peace of mind, Greg. I really do.
And it's not that expensive.
Okay, so we have the have-tos. We've got that. Now, what do you think about earthquake and flood insurance? What do you think about that? Because, here we are in SoCal, earthquakes, and there have been so many earthquakes lately, Mexico and whatnot, and flooding. The burn areas are prone to flooding. So what do you think about those?
I think that right now the earthquake rates have come down a lot. After the last earthquake we had, there was...
Northridge?
The Northridge earthquake. The deductibles are only 15%, but now they have a 5% deductible, a 10%, and a 15% deductible with many, many different coverages. So, and we all know there's going to be an earthquake in Southern California sometime. I can't predict it. I don't know, but I've been born in California, so I know I've been through every earthquake. So it's just how people want to feel comfortable. But I'm getting more phone calls every day on earthquake.
Yeah,
especially the one happened in Mexico.
I'm telling you, Greg, I like to live with that peace of mind. That's one of my... I don't know if it's a motto, but I do, you just feel better. You can't control stuff. You really can't. You can't control earthquakes or flooding, fire. You can't control that. But at least if you can pick up the pieces and have a little help, and it gives you peace of mind, Greg, that's what I wrap my head around.
Especially in Santa Clarita Valley, most people, I'm not saying everybody, owns a house. That is their primary asset. So you should have some type of coverage to cover your main asset.
Exactly. Gregg Goodman from Farmers Insurance. How do we get in touch with you?
You can call my office at 661-254-6739. You can talk to Kathy Gundy or Carolyn Breimer or now Maria Acevedo anytime.
You've got some support system there.
I've worked here a long time, and we like to grow our business. We love working in the Santa Clarita Valley. So,
Gregg Goodman, always a pleasure. Have a great Friday and a great rest of the weekend.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.